Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 6:30, an update on a serious crash that shut down part of a busy central Kentucky road. And we have more details about 4 UK football players caught up in a gun scare on campus. And Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps is in hot water after being arrested in Baltimore. These stories and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT This Morning. Thanks so much for being here. Good morning. I'm Rebecca Smith. It is Wednesday, October 1st. Will Bryant has the morning off, and we will check in now with Micah to see how our Wednesday is looking.
Yeah, and I think it looks good. Unfortunately, we're starting off with a little fog this morning. That's kind of a problem, as a lot of us are getting there on the roadways, especially across 75, and then work your way over toward the eastern zones. That's where the fog is most prevalent at the moment. Lexington coming out at 8 there at the airport, which isn't bad. I mean, you could see that 8 miles out. So that's good there, but that's out at the airport. That's in the western side of Lexington. If you come to the eastern side where we are, well, it's 0. I mean, you really can't see in front of you. So the fog is very patchy. It kind of depends on where you are. But when you run into it, yeah, it's pretty nasty. 50s outside. It's not really cold. It's kind of on the cool side. It's one of those, maybe the kiddos heading off to the bus stop, maybe a long sleeve shirt, but just for the moment. By the way, we hit the afternoon right around 79, 80 degrees. So it's going to be a pretty comfortable day and staying dry. Going toward Friday, festivals kick off, football games. Also looking at the start of Keeneland. Yeah, the fall meet that kicks off at 1 p.m. Let's see how it turns out. But right now it looks really soggy, and I'll really show you that forecast hour by hour coming up.
We have an update now to a breaking news alert out of Clark County. The Mountain Parkway is back open this morning after a serious crash. It happened just before 5 this morning in the eastbound lanes near the Powell County line. Police say the driver of a Jeep lost control before the car went into the median. The driver was ejected, but we're told he was responsive. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. A man is recovering this morning after an overnight carjacking. Police say he was beaten both before and after he was robbed. WKYT's Sean Moody is live this morning from police headquarters with the latest. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Rebecca. Police are still trying to find the men who they say stole the car. The victim was able to get away with only minor injuries. Police say it happened near the intersection of Village Drive and Jeffrey Court around 9 o'clock Tuesday night when 2 men with handguns walked up to the victim's car. Police say the men tried to make him get out of the car and hit him with the gun. They say one of the men got into the car with the victim, and the car went about half a block before the 2 of them pulled the victim out of the car and then hit him some more. That's when police say the man was able to get away from the 2. Now, police said they found the car empty at an apartment complex along Jeffrey Court. They said they haven't made any arrests yet. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Well, for the second time in 2 days, we're tracking a crime alert near the UK campus. Overnight, police say a man was punched and robbed outside a home on University Avenue. The victim told police the man asked him to break a large bill, and when he pulled out his wallet, he was attacked. Police say the suspect was in a gold GMC SUV. The overnight robbery comes just days after another robbery on campus. And yesterday morning, we reported that a man says he was robbed by a group of gunmen on East Maxwell Street. That victim said the men stole his wallet and phone before hitting him with a gun. Police are not sure if the 2 cases are connected. New this morning, 1 person is in critical condition after a motorcycle crash in Laurel County. The sheriff's office says it happened last night on Kentucky 552 south of London. Investigators say a Buick turned into the path of a Yamaha motorcycle. The person on the motorcycle was flown to UK hospital. The driver of the Buick, Courtney Stacy, was cited for driving on a medically suspended license. Well, students will be back in the classroom today, 1 day after a shooting at a Louisville area high school. Police did arrest the suspect. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel's at the live desk with continuing coverage.
Today, students will return to Fern Creek High School, but in light of yesterday's events, counselors will be on site, available to talk to any students who need it. The victim in yesterday's shooting, a 15-year-old student at this school, was rushed to the hospital. He was shot twice, once in the stomach and once in the leg. That student was taken into surgery, but he is expected to recover. Shots were fired at the school around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Just after 4, police found the suspect, a sophomore, hiding out at an apartment close to the school. He was taken into custody. One student we talked to actually saw this shooting happen.
He shot twice, and then everybody was running, and then he got hit. I saw him fall on the ground, Everybody was running because I couldn't get time to look at it. I had to run away to the classroom.
Now, police tell us the suspect and the victim did know each other. The victim was targeted, and this shooting was not random. The juvenile suspect is charged with assault, wanton endangerment, tampering with physical evidence, along with several other gun possession charges. Today, the school system also plans to review their procedures to make sure the administration did everything that they were supposed to in the moments after the gunfire. At the live desk, Whitney Wetzel, back to you.
The Fayette County attorney tells us disorderly conduct charges will likely be filed for a BB gun scare on the UK campus. 4 UK football players, Dorian Baker, Drew Barker, Tamir Dubose, and Stanley Boom Williams, have all been suspended from Saturday's game because of all this. On Sunday, police say shots were fired from a pellet gun and 2 BB guns on campus. At last check, no charges had been filed in court. Police are working to identify a young boy found dead in a Louisville park. Someone found the boy's body in Cherokee Park yesterday. Police think he could be somewhere between the age of 11 and 13. The boy did have some injuries, according to authorities. Detectives cannot yet say if those were due to an accident or foul play. Well, the owners of a Richmond motel that was damaged by a massive fire will not face charges. Firefighters say the smoke alarms were not working prior to the fire at the Country Hearth Inn. They say it started when an electrical skillet was left on in one of the rooms. With no one working in terms of the alarms, firefighters say people staying in the motel are lucky that they got out safely.
If it had been 3 o'clock in the morning instead of 3 o'clock in the afternoon where people were around and saw the smoke, we could have had several dead residents.
The fire department is working with the motel owners to make sure the fire alarm system is brought up to code as soon as possible. A former Kentucky basketball star accused of shoplifting has entered into a substance abuse treatment program. Rex Chapman was arrested last month for allegedly shoplifting and reselling $14,000 worth of items from an Arizona Apple store. The Herald Leader says Chapman is now at the Brook Hospital in Louisville. Sources say he's trying to break his addiction to Suboxone, a drug which helps wean people off of opiates. A woman caught in the crossfire of a shooting is now back at home. We found Marilyn Graves back on the same front porch where she was shot earlier this week. On Monday, Lexington police say people in 2 vehicles near her home at 5th and Ohio fired shots off at each other.
We were sitting on the porch and pow, pow, pow. We just thought it was fireworks. We didn't know.
One of the bullets hit Graves in the leg. Doctors say the bullet stopped just underneath her skin, but they didn't need to actually have surgery to remove it. Police have not arrested anyone in connection with the shooting. The Ebola outbreak that's claimed thousands of lives in West Africa is hitting American soil, with the first case of the virus diagnosed in the United States. Omar Villafranca reports that teams from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are in Dallas doing their part to make sure Ebola does not spread.
Although the Ebola epidemic seemed to many a health crisis half a world away,
I don't know that they woke up that morning and said, hey, we're going to make an Ebola run today.
Dallas paramedics had already undergone extensive training, and on Sunday, that preparation paid off.
They had enough information about Ebola that they were able to kind of tie the two together and at least have a reasonable amount of suspicion that caused them to take appropriate actions as we try to train them to do.
Dallas Fire Rescue Assistant Chief Norman Seals says the 3 crew members are not exhibiting any symptoms, but they will undergo baseline medical evaluations and then quarantine at home in a process the department is calling reverse isolation.
Basically, they'll self-check their temperature every day if they start seeing the temperature rise up. A few other things that, if they start feeling fatigued, if they start feeling nausea, vomiting, negative GI type of symptoms, then they'll report back to us and we'll get them additional testing.
The ambulance used during that call underwent routine cleaning on Sunday. The unit has now been taken out of service to undergo extensive decontamination.
Again, I spoke with them personally just not long ago, and they were laughing and joking, and they seemed to be perfectly at ease.
And we've just learned that soldiers from Fort Campbell in Kentucky are deploying to Liberia to support the response to the Ebola virus outbreak there. The length of the deployment is undetermined at this point. Well, Olympic swimming champion Michael Phelps is in hot water legally. Phelps was arrested on a DUI charge early yesterday in his hometown of Baltimore. Phelps issued an apology saying he understands the severity of his actions. Police charged the 18-time gold medalist after officers said he was caught speeding and failed field sobriety tests. He had a drunken driving arrest a decade ago. The most ticketed cars on the highway aren't souped-up muscle cars, but small four-cylinder models preferred by younger drivers. According to a report by Insurance.com, the Subaru WRX is the most ticketed car in the United States. Coming in second is the Pontiac GTO. The Scion FRS is third, and noticeably absent the Chevy Corvette, Dodge Viper, and all Porsche models. Of course, cars don't get tickets, drivers do, but the study reveals which cars attract police attention. Well, doctors have developed a unique way to treat allergies that's easy and convenient. Researchers at Weill Cornell Medical College are testing a toothpaste called Allerdent. It's custom made for patients and contains extracts of what they're allergic to. The toothpaste can treat up to 10 different allergies at one time. Allerdent is currently available by prescription in 7 states. Well, if you're heading over to Hamburg Pavilion this month, you'll notice some changes to the streets over there. Our news partners at the Herald Leader are reporting that every street in Hamburg will be repaved, sealed, and in some cases even rebuilt. Much of the work will be done at night after the businesses are closed. The project is expected to last throughout most of October. And let's get a check of traffic to see how this first day of October is shaping up out there. Hi, Don.
Hey, right now we're shaping up pretty well. No problems on the Circle to the Interstate. The exit ramps look great off of I-75. We just checked Winchester Road, also North Broadway, Newtown Pike. As we get a live look outside right now, we'll show you what to expect this morning as you plan to head out the door for work or school. A little bright there, but Harrodsburg and Lane Allen looks okay on our Waze map. Normal traffic flow. On the north side of town, for instance, if you plan to be inbound Russell Cave at the Circle, we're showing one click of the light there, one cycle to get through that intersection, and the inner and outer loops from that point over to Winchester Road check out fine. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, and let's head over now to Micah.
Going to be looking for some of that fog out and about, sitting there in the 50s, heading in toward the afternoon. Today and tomorrow actually looks really nice, but Friday and off toward the weekend, not so much. Very chilly conditions, maybe even some frost. You heard me right. I'll show you that forecast coming up.
We have an update now to a breaking news alert out of Clark County. The Mountain Parkway is back open this morning after a serious crash. It happened just before 5 this morning in the eastbound lanes near the Powell County line. Police say the driver of the Jeep lost control before the car went into the median. The driver was ejected, but we're told he was responsive. The cause of the crash is still being investigated. Also new this morning, police are questioning 5 people after an overnight robbery. They say at about 1 this morning, 2 people were found walking along Laredo Drive when several gunmen got out of a car. Police say the robbers forced the 2 to give up their wallets and phones. A police officer happened to be nearby and saw the getaway car. He stopped it at Man o' War and Alumni Drive, and the 5 men were taken into police headquarters. Students will return to a Louisville high school today, 1 day after a shooting inside that school. Police say a sophomore shot a 15-year-old student twice at Fern Creek High School. The victim is recovering. The juvenile suspect is in police custody facing numerous charges. Counselors will be available today for students. The school system also plans to review how the administration handled the crisis. Well, soldiers from Fort Campbell are deploying to Liberia to support the response to the Ebola virus outbreak there. The 101st Airborne Division says the 101st headquarters will support the U.S. Agency for International Development as it helps the government of Liberia contain the virus. The 101st says troops deploying to Liberia will receive specific medical training and use specialized personal protection equipment to ensure they are protected from exposure. The length of the deployment is undetermined. Richmond voters heard from the 2 candidates running for mayor last night. Incumbent Mayor Jim Barnes and challenger Laura Durham King took part in a forum at the EKU Center for the Arts. Among the issues that came up, the closure of a fire station in the Richmond Industrial Park.
Are you going to be able to attract any type of industry to our community without a fire station? And the answer is absolutely no. I don't know anybody who's going to go out and spend $60 or $70 million in an area that's not covered with fire protection.
Our thought was, we go 4 stations, now we have 5 per shift. Everybody can take a vacation. We don't have to worry about overtime and paying people to have to come in on extra hours, and it's working perfect. And I have talked to the fire chief, and he is very pleased.
The Richmond City Commission candidates were also at the forum, and our own Bill Bryant was the moderator. Well, George Clooney follows in his pal Brad Pitt's footsteps, and Fleetwood Mac reunites on stage. Suzanne Marquez has those stories and more in today's Eye on Entertainment.
Fleetwood Mac got on with the show last night, kicking off their North American tour in Minneapolis. The band welcomed back singer Christine McVie after a 16-year absence. Fans will be treated to a few of Fleetwood Mac's rarer tunes, plus classic hits like Rhiannon, Go Your Own Way, and Little Lies. People magazine has the first wedding pictures of George Clooney and his new bride. The couple reportedly sold the images and donated all the profits to charity. They're following in the footsteps of stars like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. And out in limited release today, Adam Sandler's new movie, Men, Women, and Children.
Are you sure it was me?
Yeah, pretty sure.
My mom.
The film follows a group of suburban teenagers and their parents, all of whom are addicted to their internet devices for one reason or another.
The ensemble cast and Jason Reitman turned out for a special screening here in West Hollywood.
She's trying to keep her daughter as far away from technology as possible. And it's a little bit messy, and she doesn't always do a good job of it, but she is coming from a place of love.
Emma Thompson narrates the film, and that's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, West Hollywood.
No wrecks right now. We just had a look at Richmond Road through that construction zone. Traffic's pretty light. Let's get a look outside. We'll show you what we're talking about with no issues to deal with as we kick off the morning. A little bit of fog here and there, but Nicholasville alumni looks good. Now back to you in the studio.
Yeah, we're looking outside with that patchy fog, so watch out for that, especially around Lexington southbound, and that takes you off into the eastern zones too. 50s outside. It's kind of a cool start to the morning, but actually in some locations feels all right. Today's forecast there in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Today's talkers that you can talk about at work, that cold front, issues for possibly there for Keeneland's opening day. Frost possible this weekend. We'll see.
Got to hide those plants, right? All right, nobody's more up to date than you to start your day. Have a great one.